ワポケ入ります。
お、パワポケ。それぞれの夢の色つないで、この空に鮮やかな虹をかけよう。
Big and little moments that are sprinkled about. They create these little pockets, these little vignettes in these characters' lives, and we can take a lot of big lessons out of such little moments. That is the central appeal of the universe. So if you don't consume it in isolation, you could just argue that this is indicative of the show itself. It is a perfect pastiche of everything they did over the last 5 or 6 years. You know, Bluey itself doesn't really swing in either direction very neatly, which gives it that accessibility that people really crave. You have that episode from this past season where one of the kids' dads makes all these kids play a really archaic version of a party game wherein only one person wins. No snowflake participation trophies out here, and it's well received. But then there's like a whole episode dedicated to like establishing boundaries and listening and actually learning from your kids, which is great, but very progressive ideology. I don't know, guys. I don't think you can fully acknowledge the unwokeness of Bluey without also acknowledging that all of these motherfuckers send their kids to a Montessori school. They run around all day, they do unstructured learning like the real hippies. It has never landed neatly on one side of the coin over the other, which again is what makes it so palatable to a wide audience. I think if you're more practically minded, you'd be more likely to object to how this ended, which again, I think is pretty understandable. I do think it's kind of funny that the episode itself wanted to enforce almost a mystical quality around the uncertainty of life, because everything was cyclical, and it kind of gives the impression that everything was passive, but everything turned out the way that it did because everyone was fighting for something that they believed in. But again, the whole episode is about the journey itself rather than just the end result, and I think focusing on the latter is also a mentality that is pushing back against.